What do you think of as the one big failure, what you'd accept as a failure of Indian foreign policy? Our relations with countries in our immediate neighborhood somehow don't seem as optimal as they should be for a country of India's size, stature and aspiration. Do you concede that?
No.
That China seems to be meddling, and while we are trying to weigh in and have an Indian area of influence, there's a very strong Himalayan shadow that hangs over each of these relations.
So, look, if you ask me, are there serious problems with China? My answer to you would be yes. But I would use the word challenge rather than failure. There is a effort in the last 3 years to actually reflect that posture on the line of actual control, and I have actually stood up to it. So, I would actually say I have risen to the challenge that today, I mean in a military sense, the fact that we have been able to deploy so many troops for round the year in very hard conditions, probably one of the hardest in the world, with a posture which deters Chinese response. In fact, in many ways itself is an achievement, and it's an achievement because among the efforts of the last decade has been the change in the border infrastructure. There was an era where the thinking was, let's not do anything on the Chinese border, and that's the best way, but they won't come in and we don't have to go there. Now, that proved to be completely wrong, that they kept developing their side of the infrastructure and would keep putting pressure on the line of actual control.
Where do you see the India-China relationship go from where we are at right now?
Well, I think one of the most complicated issues in global politics today will be how the only 2 billion plus societies, which both happen to be among the oldest civilizations of the world, today are rising. How one part of it is how they manage their relationship with the rest of the world and the new equations which come. But the other is how do they create an equilibrium, because both are rising at a phenomenal pace.
How do you create that equilibrium? Because despite everything that Prime Minister Modi tried at the beginning, the Chinese have a very different reading of the situation.
Look, in life, everything doesn't go your way. You make a best effort, other people have their calculations, could be right, could be wrong. And sometimes you are presented with a situation as we were presented. Now, what happened, in 2020 when the Chinese made the move on the LAC, the fact was we were in the middle of a COVID lockdown. I think people in this country still don't fully appreciate for us to move tens of thousands of troops with that rapidity to those mountains in that cold with the COVID lockdown was actually a phenomenal logistics operation. And then to stay there and to support that. So, the fact is, yes, we have a challenge. I don't think anybody is in denial of that challenge. And today, as far as I am concerned, to me, if national security is at stake, there is nothing that I will not do. So, whereas earlier on, for a variety of ideological reasons, we ourselves said, we won't exercise this option, we won't take that country's help, we will not turn to this country. Whereas today we are much more hard-headed about what we should do.